Hello, hello, and welcome back. It's Kylie with you all today, otherwise known as Paper Sweetpea, and I'm a Creative Memories Advisor from here in Australia. Today is yet another Scrap With Me ×3 collaboration where I'm joining Lauren Hinds, who is Craft Some Joy from the US, and Noreen Smith, who is Organised and Creative Mum from Canada. Now, unfortunately, Noreen doesn't have a video to share with you all today for this collaboration. Noreen hasn't been feeling too well. So Noreen, we hope that you feel much better very soon, and we're all sending you lots of love and healing vibes. So it's just Lauren and I holding the reins today, and we are going to be working with the brand new Showtime collection from Creative Memories, with a focus on using one of the punches that released around the same time. So either the Champagne Toast Punch or the Double Fan Border Maker cartridge. Like always, be sure to head to Lauren's channel and watch her video once you finish watching mine today. And we will have a PDF guide that you can purchase and download from each of our individual websites for the layouts that we've created today. But don't worry, I will link everything below this video. Now, I am here on the chat live with you all today, so do say hi and feel free to ask any questions. I do believe Noreen was going to try and pop on our chats as well today, so let's just keep the chat box rolling and send her lots of healing vibes and love as well. But for now, let's get started. So I have some of the Showtime collection here on my desk, just for a very quick overview before we get started. There was 2 paper packs to the collection, both the Tone on Tone paper pack and the Designer paper pack. Now, I think this collection lends itself beautifully to documenting a lot of different themes. It could be New Year's, it could be birthday parties, graduations, going to a show, going to a concert, the theatre, anything at all like that. It really is a really fun theme. There was 2 embellishment packs that come with this collection, and one, you can just see here, it has like a really cool brushed velvet sort of appearance to it, which is really cool. It came with there's a variety matte pack to this collection as well. It also had a cardstock sampler pack, which was great. We have our stickers and of course our papers. Now, today's collaboration is showing you all a variety of ways that you could use either the Champagne Toast Punch or the Double Fan Border Maker cartridge, or both. I've decided I'm going to work today with the Double Fan Border Maker cartridge. Now, if you've been following my paper adventures on social media, you'll see lately that I've had a real circle theme in my layouts. I've been putting circles everywhere, and I think today's going to be the same. And I'm going to share with you some fun techniques with the Border Maker cartridge. Now, my daughter is a huge music and musical theatre fan. Absolutely loves Lin-Manuel Miranda and all his work. I hope I've pronounced his name correctly. We went and saw Hamilton here in Australia about 12 months ago, which my daughter loved, as did I, and we're off to see Mary Poppins very soon here in Australia, which we can't wait for. So I've got lots of photos that I'm going to be able to use and document with this collection. So my layout today is a double page layout. However, I'm only going to share with you how to create the left side page. And the reason for that, which you will see at the end, the right side page is exactly the same. And just for obvious reasons, time, I'm just going to share with you how to create the left side page. All right, so I'm going to use this black star printed paper as my frame for the page. And I want to layer this beautiful burgundy toned stripe over the top of this paper. So I need to cut down the stripe paper first. So I'm going to bring in my 12-inch trimmer with straight blade, and I need to trim down this stripe paper to 11.5 inches by 11.5 inches. So I'm just going to line up that edge there. So it's just a very small amount that we're trimming off. Like so. Okay, I'm going to bring in my black paper now, and this will be adhered over the top. Now, if you wish to conserve paper, by all means remove the center from this black paper. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to adhere this over the top. Make sure that we've got an even 1/4 inch border all the way around that paper. And when you're happy with it, you can adhere that down into place. Alrighty, next step, I'm going to bring in this, it sort of looks like velvet print, a beautiful burgundy crushed velvet, which I love. And we need to trim a 3-inch wide strip by 11.5 inches. So we just need to take 1/2 inch off the length of this paper strip, like so. And I want to adhere it probably just 1/4 inch down from the top of the striped paper. So we're going to see just a little bit of that striped edge at the top of the page, like so. And that's about the most preparation for our background page for now. I'm going to create the border piece that goes along the bottom of this page, so we can set this aside just for now. Okay, so I've brought in my black cardstock, the shimmer cardstock, and my white cardstock to create our border. Just going to bring back in the 12-inch trimmer, and I want to trim a strip of the black cardstock 3 inches wide by 11.5 inches. So again, just trimming a little bit off the length of it. Now from the white cardstock, we need to trim a 2 7/8 inch wide strip. Now, for those of you, if you're unsure what that measurement is, and I do a close-up of this in my PDF guide, it is this little line you can see right here on our trimmer board. For those of you who are unsure, it's this line here. Okay, so 2 7/8 inch wide. And I know this sounds very exact, but it will just give you a lovely frame effect around each of the keys for your keyboard. So 2 7/8 inch. And from this strip, we need to then trim 7/8 inch. And I'll just show you again that measurement for those of you who are unsure where the 7/8 inch mark is. It is this line right here. You can see right there. So in between 3/4 inch and 1 inch, it's that long line there. Okay, and we're going to need 12 of these strips that measure 7/8 inch wide, and these are going to be the keys for your keyboard, and they will fit perfectly across that black border strip that we've just cut. Now, I know I keep repeating myself, but again, I am just creating the left side page, so naturally you're going to have to do all of these steps twice that I'm doing to be able to recreate the double page design. All right, so I have created this measurement to be just a perfect, neat finish that will have a even border all the way around. And I found the easiest way in order to be able to adhere everything neatly. I'm going to use my repositionable tape in case I do need to lift some keys off to get my spacing even. But what I found is if you make sure that you have a perfectly even border for that first key that you put down, and I'm going to hold that up to the camera to show you. So you've got a perfectly even space, top, bottom, and to the side to fit that first key, and you stick to that all the way through, you will get a super even result, okay? It's really easy, I know, your spacing can get a little bit wider as you go along, but I am just going by eye to place these. I feel quite confident to place these just by eye, as long as I've got that first one and I know that that spacing is even. And as I start placing these keys down, I'm just going to make sure that I keep the exact same width around each key so that you can see the exact same amount of black spacing. Okay, so I've got to the end there and you can see my spacing's just a little bit off towards the end, so I'm just going to use my all-purpose tool there. And I'm just going to move them, shuffle them along a little bit. Because I've used the repo tape, that enables me to be able to do that quite successfully. Till I'm happy with that spacing and where all those keys are sitting. One's a little bit wonky too. That's the beauty of our repo tape, is that you can rework with it. There we go, that's better. So don't fret if you get to the end and you think, oh, I'm crooked. It's quite easy to just lift things away and reposition them as you need to. There we go. So we've got start of our keyboard border. It's coming together nicely. Now we just need some little black keys to add to that keyboard. Now we want this to be 3/8 of an inch wide, which on your 12-inch trimmer is equivalent to 1 centimetre that you see on this bottom row of measurements there. That helps you. So we just want it 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to cut each key to 1 3/4 of an inch long. And we need 4 of these. Bring back in my keyboard. And I'm going to space these by putting the first one between the second and third white key. And then I'm going to go 3 keys in between. Then I'm going to go another 2. And then I'm going to go another 3. So we've got 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. That makes sense. And we can adhere these down and it instantly comes to life as a little keyboard. Okay, so you can see with our border that, yeah, these black keys are over the middle of each seam line that you can see. But that brings together our keyboard border. Okay, so I've brought back in my base page and I'm going to adhere our little keyboard border strip to the bottom. And I want to make sure that I leave the same width strip of the striped paper showing at the bottom as I did to the top of this burgundy piece of paper. So I'll just wiggle that down and we can adhere that in place to the base of our page. Again, just with my repo tape. Okay, so that's our border in place. Now I'm going to create our circular photo frame. So again, I'm just going to lift my base page out of the way. So I'm going to bring in this beautiful gold tone paper, which has the same fan design as what is featured in our double fan BMC. So I'm going to bring in the circle cutter, which I have wound out to 6 inches here on the side. And for the double page layout, you need 2 circles, but obviously I'm only going to cut 1. And I'm just lightly pressing down on that center to make sure that I'm not going to run over the edge or the corner of my paper there. And when I'm happy, I'm just going to push down, press in the button of the circle cutter there and press down and cut my circle. Like so. You can lift that out of the way now. Alrighty, I just want to bring my circle in now and center it on my cutting mat. So I've got 3 inches on this half of the circle, 3 inches on this half of the circle, and the same if we were to, you know, think of this as a square. So that is centered. If you want to make extra care that it is centered on your cutting mat, then by all means you could fold it in half both ways, just pinch it, and then bring in your ruler and pencil for this next step. But I am confident just by using my eye there that that is centered. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rule vertically through my circle, just top and bottom. And again, side to side. And I'm just ruling in probably about 1.5 inches and not using, you know, my pencil too firmly. And then I'm just going to mark in the 45-degree marks. So the diagonal of the circle, both directions, like so. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the housing bracket for my Border Maker cartridge and just slide that in till it clicks. Now the good thing with this design, I have actually marked the exact center of the housing unit, but the good thing with this fan design is you can see in here where you're going to get in the middle of the 2 fans. So it's very easy to line up these lines in your punch. And I'm not going to punch all the way through, but I'll just show you when I hold that up. But I have indeed lined, you can just faintly see my pencil marking there, but it goes through the center of each of the 2 fans. So we're going to line that up on one of the lines and just punch like so. I'm then going to skip the next line that we marked, okay? Rotate it, and I'm going to line it up to this pencil marking and punch. Okay, so you can see there that we've skipped one of the pencil markings. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Rotate, skip the next pencil line. I just continue doing this all the way around my circle. So lining it up halfway, punch. I'm going to skip the next pencil line and punch. So as you can see, we've basically made it look like a square at the moment. You can see this square shape, but now we're going to go back in and punch out these other sections here and just doing the same. Now you may have to get a little bit creative in lining that up. As long as you can see, you know, perfect space either side, and you're lining up that center line best you can. I'll bring it up to the camera to show you. Got it all lined up neatly, and then punch it out. And you can see there that we're left with these little triangle pieces. That's okay, because we're going to trim them away. But I'm just going to make my way around the circle. Okay, just get all my confetti out of the way. Alright, so you can see what we're left with is this very cool punched circle. So the next step that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to bring in my precision point scissors, the ones that have got the lovely sharp point to them. And just very carefully, I'm just going to point cut out each of those little triangles that are left over. It doesn't take much, it's just a small little snip. Okay, so that's removed all of those little pieces. Now what I'm going to do next, you can just see here, I'm just going to find one of my pencil markings, which you can see in between these 2 fans, and I'm just going to cut through because we're essentially going to cut this in half. And then I'm going to line up the pencil line that is opposite that first one and cut through that as well. And what we're left with are 2 beautiful half circle archways, and they kind of remind me of dazzling lights, which will be perfect for adding in behind my photos. I'm going to bring back in my circle cutter, and I want to wind this back to 5. So 5 inches. And again, I'm just going to lightly press down on that center and just move my circle cutter till I can ensure that it doesn't overrun the paper at all, but I can conserve as much paper as I can. I'm just going to press down and then push in on that button, rotate it, and cut out another circle. All right, so I want to cut my circle in half, so I'm just going to bring back in my 12-inch trimmer. Now we know that this is a 5-inch diameter circle that we've just cut. So I'm going to push it up into the top of my 12-inch trimmer as far as it will go. And I want the edge, the very edge of my circle here to be aligned at 2.5 inches. Now because this is a directional print on the paper, I'm just going to make sure that I've got it nice and straight. And then I can just cut straight through, and I know that I've got 2 perfect halves for my circle. So I can lift that out of the way. Alrighty, so I'm just going to bring in my little fan arches here, and very carefully with an eraser, I'm just going to very lightly remove any pencil lines that you can still see from where we ruled before. And I want to adhere each half circle so that we've just got that archway peeping out from behind, like so. And these are going to sit at the top of our photos. And that'll be quite a neat fit for each circle half. Okay, so I'm going to bring back in my background page. And we're going to adhere our 2 half circles in place. Now I want them to sit, the straight edge to sit along the straight edge at the bottom of that burgundy strip of paper, and that one as well. I'm going to bring in the border stickers from the sticker sheet. And I'm just going to use this spotlight sticker, and I'm just going to adhere that over the bottom edge again of that burgundy paper, and it's also sort of tucking in our little photo arches there at the top. I also want to add these musical notes to my keyboard. Okay, so let's talk photos. I've allowed for 2 on this first page, and I've trimmed the photo mats to be 4 inches by 6 inches. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to use these pages to document when we go to Mary Poppins very soon. So I'm just going to use this cardstock here to represent my photos for now, and then I'll switch them out once I've got all of my photos printed. But I've trimmed these to be 3.75 inches wide by 5.75 inches, and that will give me just a perfectly neat border showing in behind my photos. So I will just add a little bit of adhesive to the center of these, and when I get my photos I may even trim them down even smaller and have a double border and keep this paper in place. All right, so I have brought in the right side page of my design, and as you can see now, which is what I mentioned at the start of my video, it's just exactly the same as that first page we've done. So the techniques that I've used for this page, mirror image for this page. The only difference is I've got different sized photos for this page. So the photo mat for this page is 4 inches by 4 inches, and the photos will be trimmed down to 3.75 by 3.75 inches. Now I've already got lots going on in this page, so I really don't feel I need to embellish too much. And again, because I haven't yet got my photos, I'm just going to add in a few, and I can come back once I've got my photos printed and I can add more if I like. But I'm just going to add some cute little clusters that I've picked out of the die cuts. I've got some little camera and some popcorn. Might actually add that to this base here. And then I've got a cute little cluster I can add to the side here. All right, so I'm going to leave my embellishments there for now. as I said before, you could always replace one of these photos with some journaling, or you could even add one of the tags to the center of these two photos and add your journaling to. Lots of extras that you can still add to your pages. So there you have it, friends, all completed. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, if you live in Australia and you would love some more information about Creative Memories or Creative Memories products, you can get in touch with me via any of the links below this video. And the same goes if you live in the US or Canada, you can get in touch with Lauren and Noreen as well. Thanks so much for being here. We shall see you next time. Bye.